Hello and welcome to another video in the world of Monster Hunter Iceborne on PC. Charge Blade progression builds or build progression. And one thing that when researching this really stuck out, see, there are some lovely people who have had the privilege of doing a few math checks with, have a link to a website where your first progression build is this. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with this, it's just Brachydios is pretty much halfway through the actual story, and a lot of people have played Monster Hunter World base game and got a few decorations, so why this actually exists is kind of beyond me, because even if you play through the main storyline, do a little bit of grinding, because Master Rank is not going to be something you can just jump straight to. This basically is redundant, or at least in my mind. So, yeah. So I have taken the stance of played to at least Hunter rank 100, 150, maybe even 200, done a fair little bit of grinding, actually learned a little bit about the weapons and not just been a moron and gone straight in, because you will need to be slightly optimal for master rank, not just having 0 decorations. So for the first progression build I have, it is utilizing the charge blade from Rathian. Just level it up one more time with master rank Rathian. Not a lot has really changed. It's more health and a tad more damage, using 3-piece Kaiser from high rank as well as Damascus, and the main wasteboard upgrade is going to be the master rank Baroth with a challenger, and this should put you in a relatively good-ish stead to start working through the master rank story. With the 2 spare decos up top, try to utilize a magazine if you have it, and maybe another charger as well. Now, if you don't like using the Lunar Charge Blade, I suggest going for the Great Jagras one, which is a very, very solid bet. Once you've done a little bit more grinding, not much in the build does change, but try using the Rathalos chest. This basically allows you to compensate for weakness exploit, so you can start utilizing other decorations. The main reason we're still using 3-piece Gamma TO is because that critical eye is too good to give up with Master's Touch at the moment. But then hopefully by the time you get to Nagakuga, you'll notice the razor sharp spare shot. Now, one thing you would have also noticed is that at this point you would have taken a good chunk drop in damage, which I really shouldn't be too worried about. It's mainly getting that defense up, because this is where the monsters really start amping up. You do enough damage to get by, you will slow down a little bit, but the others are sort of overpowered in a sense of trying to just get you through the first few monsters and the grind as quick as possible. This one is to more stabilize you for the events to come. Although I should state at this point, probably should have done it earlier on, that none of these builds are sort of exact. Just because you've copied this build exactly doesn't mean you're always going to have the best results. Decoration slots at this point, as well as the level 4 decorations, are going to be limited to what you have. So if you camp in a level 4 decoration slot that will offer you better stats or advantages, do use them. These are just going to be the best that I can produce, as well as have tested out personally. Really didn't have too much difficulty in using any of these against any of the storyline monsters up to the point of where they are intended, such as this lovely one here. Honestly found this really fun and easy to use. With that spare level 4, I did utilize a magazine deco, but if you don't have one, not really a big issue at this point. For mantles, I was utilizing Rocksteady and Glider. Glider has 2 level 4 decorations which you can utilize to compensate for anything you are missing for that duration. Onto the 5th build in my progression. This is something I had a little bit of fun with, trying to figure out a way to maybe bolster what had already been shown. Obviously using the 3-piece Brachy here, because that is honestly very good, especially with its Agitator Overdrive, or whatever it was called, basically allowing Agitator to go up and beyond, so that when a monster is angry, your damage skyrockets, your capability skyrockets. However, you are losing out on that Master's Touch or razor sharp spare shot, so do be prepared to start sharpening a lot, especially if you can't manage your sharpness correctly and you take unnecessary hits on your shield, as it were, although it's a charge blade. Guard point is life, right? Now for this next build, this is one that I personally used a lot when farming out the grinding lands until I could get the exact end game build that I wanted. The charge blade I actually used was to step down from the Lunar Estri, I'm not too sure, the one down from that, but this is the exact build I was using for a hell of a long time. Didn't really have too much trouble grinding it out, and it performed perfectly well in the old guiding lands. Does a good chunk of damage, as well as it is quite darn survivable, at least until you start spawning in those pesky tempered elder dragons, which are about 10 levels of fun in master rank. So this is, like I said, this is what I used. It did work very well. There are a few changes you may wish to make. Damage wise it was fine, defense wise it was fine. It was just very safe and it worked overall. It was something that I was looking to augment and upgrade as soon as possible so that I could go to this, which is the final build. I've only put the health augment in there for the moment. I do believe you can fit in an affinity as well, which is going to be preferable. However, I would suggest for true endgame grinding, as long as you don't mind the sharpening every once in a while, sticking with the health augment first. In the weapon, we have two tenderizers, Teostra Beta helmet with an artillery 4. Oddly, didn't have any dramas getting artillery 4, just artillery 1s. Damascus Beta chest with a Guardian's attack, a Charger dual 2 and an artillery. In the TO Beta we have Guardian and attack and a critical dual 2. In the TO Beta we have Guardian attack, magazine and attack. In the Ian Gariga boots we have Iron Wall attack and 2 more critical. Don't forget about your Agitator 4 charm. Agitator is completely busted in Iceborne simply because you're near enough able to proc the monster being angry. So it's sort of like, okay, yeah, you're angry, but you've just given me one hell of a damage boost. Anyway, that is me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight, and I'll see you pretty darn soon. Good luck, have fun, and don't die. It's bad for the health.